Good morning, everybody. And it's 1 a.m. here. So for me, it's technically morning. I'm a night owl. I just got home from work. I drive a big rig for UPS. So my hours are pretty much 1 p.m., 2 p.m. till 1 a.m. So my social life suffers. It's okay. I love my job. Anyway, 17 days since the surgery. How am I doing? How am I taking care of my teeth so far? And how am I overall handling it? I am doing okay right now, so I'll start back towards the surgery. Um, like I said, they were pulled on February 14th. My natural teeth, they were pulled on February 14th. And the next day, February 15th, I had my permanent teeth screwed in. And they are in my mouth right now as we're speaking. So since it's been about 2 weeks since I posted my original video, I kind of want to go back and because a lot has happened in the last 2 weeks, and right now I feel much better than I did shortly after I made that first video. So I kind of want to time lapse here. So yeah, think about the first 5 days pain wise were the worst. When the surgery happened, they told me day 3 would be the worst on a pain level, but to me it felt like the worst was literally as soon as all the anesthetics had worn off, which was literally 24 hours later after the surgery. And I don't know how to describe the pain. It is, I mean, if you ever have a tooth pulled and you know what it is, like if your blood pressure goes up a little, you have a throbbing feeling. If you've never had a tooth pulled, I guess it's comparable to having a bruise on one of your legs or your arm, like a decent bruise where you have like a bump on your skin. You can really feel it and see it probably too. It's comparable to that. And like I said, if you just relax and you don't do much, everything is really fine. But they give you pain medication, which is like a Advil times 4 essentially, because it says like it's got like a weight on it, like 800 milligrams of Advil. I forgot what it is, but it's basically 4 times stronger than Advil. And they even tell you if the pain is more than what you can handle, just call us and we'll send you a new prescription. But I never did. Like I've always been fairly pain tolerant, except nerve pain, like bruises and all that. I seem to do fine without any medication like Advil, ibuprofen, aspirin, whatever. I don't take any of that. I'm a big believer in just eating healthy and staying hydrated. And if you still experience a pain, you know what? That's just your body saying, hey, you need to take better care in this area. That's what pain really is. It's just a warning light on your dashboard, like, hey, do something. Change your lifestyle or whatever. So, yeah, pain wise, for 5 days, it was bad with quotations there because like I said, to me it was tolerable and I wouldn't even call it bad anymore. I would say it's just an expected side effect of what you just chose to do. In my case, pull all my teeth and put implants in. So yeah, pain wise, 5 days were the worst. And like I said, I was taking the prescribed medications for 5 days, and it was all very manageable. As a matter of fact, February 14th was the surgery. I had vacation that whole week, so I didn't do anything strenuous, or I wasn't even at work, obviously, because I was on vacation. But I made sure I had time to recover because honestly, I had no idea what to expect. I mean, how often do you pull all your teeth, right? So, yeah, that was the pain part. From then on, my biggest struggles, annoying things that I had to go through, I guess, was definitely speech. And I still have a bit of a whistle every time I have to say the S word letter, excuse me. So, yeah. I'm definitely having relearning moments here, especially when I suddenly have a conversation with somebody. I'm noticing for myself, God, I sound so different, and God, I got to pay attention to S words. So, yeah. But It's getting better. Like I said, this video is day 17, so I don't know if you can tell from my first video if I sound any different already, but I'm feeling every day more confident. Excuse me. I'm feeling every day more confident that I'm getting better with handling these teeth, as in accepting them as part of me and living as such. So speech was definitely, after the first 5 initial days, was still a big deal. A massive amount of saliva production, which also impedes your ability to speak. I mean, you don't want to be spitting at people while you're talking to them, ideally. So that was a problem speaking, but also sleeping. Because, as soon as drool comes out of your mouth, it'll wake you up or something, or your pillow gets wet, and now you got to deal with that. I don't like wet pillows for whatever reason, so simple as that. Yeah, speech, saliva, and sore. Again, I had all my teeth, and the first area that stopped feeling sore is actually the molar area, the place where you chew on your food. Like right now, it doesn't feel sore anymore. It doesn't feel bruised or swollen. I do still, again, 17 days later, feel soreness from about the canines inwards towards the middle of your mouth, basically, on both the upper and the lower. And I don't know if that's because I had all my teeth there or because I never chew on those. So the nerves there were still very intact. I don't know. I always chewed on my molars, as much as I could tolerate it. Because again, I pulled my teeth out of sensitivity issues, cavities, like all sorts of problems. So that's how it feels right now. It's sore. I can touch it, and I'm going to get to the eating part soon, because the soreness is really what decides when and what you eat. Because when the surgery is over, you get your new teeth, they pretty much tell you you can eat whatever you want from now on. But I'm not going to lie, if your mouth is in pain, do you really want to try to chew things? So that's really what decides what you're going to eat. And I think I said that in the first video, I decided to make a big pot of spaghetti, which I did. And I ate that for the rest of that week. And since I didn't know it at the time of the first video, I'll tell you now. Every time I put that spaghetti with sauce with the pasta in my mouth, I guess out of habit, I would make the motion of chewing, but I could tell I wasn't chewing. It was making the motion, but not the force to actually crush anything between your teeth. So navigating my teeth is really what kept me from chewing correctly. And what I mean by navigating is these implants, you don't know how hard you're biting. When you're biting down on your natural teeth, your teeth give you a pressure feeling. Like if you put them together and you clench, all your teeth that are touching each other are giving your brain some sense of, okay, these teeth are experiencing X amount of pressure that should be hard enough to crack that nut in your mouth or to, chew that apple, banana, whatever. And I didn't have that feedback mechanism. And right now, again, 17 days after surgery, I'm starting to notice more and more that feedback mechanism is actually being replaced by the jaws that run like right here. When you chew, you can actually feel them. Well, when you clench your teeth, you can feel them flexing. And that is becoming my new sensory input of how hard am I biting. That's what I'm starting to notice now. Also, the implants themselves, I don't really know how long it takes for them to integrate with the bone that they are drilled into. But I think I'm starting to feel some form of pressure stimulus from the implants. It's not a pain stimulus, it's just pressure, like your natural teeth, but different. I can't explain that how. It's more dull. It's almost like pushing with your finger on something bony. Like you can clearly feel a pressure, but it doesn't hurt or nothing. This is similar. These implants feel like that. I can clearly feel there's pressure, but not really how much. So that's the other thing. And again, that has been the big decider on what I was eating. But to fast forward a bit, what am I eating now? I'm not lying to you. I'm eating everything that I used to eat with my natural teeth. From chicken, steak, vegetables, junk food. Sorry, I'm not saying I like junk food too sometimes. But I can really tell where the food is in my mouth now. Again, all the anesthesias are long gone. My cheeks can feel where food is or anything in my mouth. And I'm actually considering making the third video. If I'm making one, most likely I will. I'm seriously thinking of putting the laptop in my kitchen and just having a whole bunch of hard things to eat, because I think a lot of people might have questions on, okay, what if I pull my teeth and I put implants in? What can I eat now? Am I going to be limited compared to my natural teeth, or can I eat more things? Is it about the same? So, I mean, I'm just kind of considering like carrot, red beet, a bucket of nuts, some raw vegetables of whatever kind. Hard things basically, or very soft things, which some people actually seem to experience a different kind of issue with. One example would be rice. Rice is soft, it's small, you could essentially swallow that without chewing, but again, 17 days later, things are becoming different for me already. My gums are now receding away from the implants, and rice is one of the few things that almost immediately after the first bite, it will get stuck under the bridge between my gums and the bridge. And with your natural teeth, when that happens, you just kind of swirl your tongue around and move it out of the way and swallow whatever is stuck there. I cannot do that yet with these bridges. The gap between the gums and the bridge is not wide enough for me to run my tongue through it. And honestly, I don't know if I want the gap to be wider, because it's becoming a little bit annoying. It's really making me feel like there is something in my mouth that needs to be pushed out. Well, these are my teeth. I don't want them pushed out, but some part of my brain is still not fully, yeah, these are your new teeth. Live with it. So it still feels like a foreign object in my mouth here and there. And it's usually when there is food stuck under them. What's the other thing I was going to talk about? Yeah, taking care of them, I guess. I can touch on that a bit now. You are supposed to brush them 3 times a day, water pick them twice a day, and floss them at least once a day. I fail in all 3 categories. I'm just going to be honest, sorry. But I'll tell you what, with my natural teeth, I never water flossed because it would just trigger all my sensitivities in my mouth. But I am water flossing daily, right before I go to sleep. And I brush my teeth every day also. So what I'm doing now is, see, again, it's 1 a.m. at night. It's 1:30 actually right now. I'm going to watch TV maybe for like an hour and a half. And by 3 a.m., I will be going upstairs and start my dental cleanup routine. So I'll make it the last thing I do. Why? Because then I know I'm going to be asleep and in my bed for the next 8-9 hours, and my mouth will be clean and hopefully bacteria free. And these dental implants can heal while I'm sleeping. So what I do is, at the end of my day, as I just said, I go upstairs into my bathroom. I fill the water pick with a small amount of, what's it called? Listerine, like, mouthwash. Just enough to cover the bottom of the dish that holds the water, the reservoir, I guess. And then I will add the rest of it with water. And I forgot how big my tank is, but it feels like at least half a liter. I don't know what that is in gallons, a quarter of a gallon, I think. Or 1/8 of a gallon. God, this standard system in the US, oh my God. Sorry, I was born in Belgium, Europe, and we use the metric system. Liters, kilos, and all these things make so much more sense to me. But yeah, I'll fill that with water. And I also have a gallon jug of just regular tap water full of Himalayan pink salt. I kind of just add so much in there that it cannot dissolve. Or, I mean, not all of it. So the water is extremely salty. I've always understood that's a good bacteria killer for your mouth. And since salt is not toxic to us and you're not going to swallow it anyway, I'm like, great. All the bacteria dead in my mouth, it's salt. So if you need iodine or whatever, maybe you get some of that. I don't know. But that's the first thing I'll do. I'll take a big mouthful of that really salt water and I will brush my teeth with that, for like a minute or two, long enough to make sure I covered everything twice, the inside, the outside, my chewing areas. When I'm done with that, I'll spit that out. And then I'll use the water pick. And it has 5 different pressure settings. And again, my mouth is still healing. And since you got to shoot that jet, ideally between the bridge and your gums, they're not fully separated yet for me. Like here and there, I can feel air blowing through the gums and the implants, but I'm still being careful with the water pick because obviously I don't want to rip my own mouth open while I'm trying to actually heal it. So, but I'm using it on the lowest setting right now. And I've had 0 issues. Nothing started bleeding. Nothing started feeling sore. So that's been good so far. So that's about what I do once a day for now. I don't really know if it would be beneficial to brush again and water floss again in the morning after sleep because it's the last thing I did before bed. Like, I mean, yeah, sure, some bacteria might continue living in your mouth, but I don't know. I don't see the benefit yet. Another thing that they tell you to clearly do is do that every time after you eat. Now, for me, that is almost impossible. And as I mentioned earlier, I drive a big rig for UPS. I'm in a truck all day. I don't have a sanitation station available to me. Like, I mean, I could brush, yeah, sure. But the biggest problem is these implants need to stay clean. And that's the one thing you cannot reach with a brush because it's between your gums and the bridge. So that's why I just do the whole routine once a day. And that is, like I said, right before sleep. Another thing that I want to touch on is something that became a problem for me almost right away, especially after day 5 when all the soreness was starting to diminish and I stopped taking all the pain medication, is clenching my teeth. Like, I would push my teeth together throughout the day, not with force, just, I don't know, it's just my mouth getting used to something foreign, really. It's just like a kid plays with everything in its surroundings. That's kind of what I feel like. I feel like I'm playing with my own mouth to relearn what's going on. And that's not really clenching, I guess. That's just clicking your teeth together all day. But sorry. What did happen, however, and this became a problem quite quickly, from day 5 until day 10, I would just go to sleep with no mouth guard, no nothing. And when I woke up around 1 p.m., that's my wake up time, again, my job hours, somewhere between being unconscious and ready to wake up, I became aware that I was putting a lot of force on my jaw being clenched shut. And often it felt like my jaw was either shifted left or right, and it felt stuck. And since I'm not fully conscious, I'm having a millisecond of panic, like, shit, what's going on? So I crunch even harder. Again, I'm not awake enough to know what's going on. But as soon as I do that, I felt this loud crack. I felt it and I heard it, like almost like the teeth being smacked together really hard. I'm like, oh my God. And at this point, I'm like instantly wide awake. I'm like, shit, did I just break my teeth? So I would just quickly lick my whole mouth, like the whole implant area, to find nothing wrong. I mean, thank God. I don't know if that's a testament to how strong these things are. And I said it in video 1, these are the zirconia implants. So having said that, on day 10, however, that same, and again, this happened 5 days in a row where I would just wake up with my teeth being in a weird place and I would snap them loose from each other with a loud crack, and it freaked me out every time. About day 10, I woke up like that again, But this time I felt a crack and something sharp was in my mouth now. And I'm like, okay, I must have broken something this time. So again, after 5 days of licking my whole mouth around just to check, sure enough, one of the teeth, is chipped now. So it's right dead center in the middle on the lower bridge, right in the middle. I'll show you here in a second. But that day I called the place where the surgery was done. I told them what happened, and they said, "Yeah, we'll probably make you a night retainer to put in your mouth at night to protect your teeth." And they were saying that they were already suspecting that I was a clincher, which is strange because I don't recall ever waking up like that with my teeth being sore or something, like as if I've been chewing in my sleep all night or whatever. Now it does feel like, again, these jaw muscles, they feel like they've been working overtime while I was asleep. So, but yeah, let me show you. I don't know if the camera is sharp enough, but this bottom tooth in the middle is missing a small corner. So it's not a big deal, but after only having these teeth for 10 days and having paid $40,000, I'm like, oh my God, like I need to come up with something to make sure I don't just break the whole bridge, because I can't afford to have that replaced right now. So I called them, and to my big surprise, they said, yeah, we'll give you a $500 night guard on the house free of charge. I'm like, oh, thank God. And I said, so what, do I got to pay $7,000 now to have a whole new bridge made? And like, no, what you went through is actually pretty atypical. I'm like, okay, so how much will this cost me? They said, you can come in, and on March 11th, 2022 is actually when I will be going in for this very issue. Said, you can come in and we will check if we can just grind it smooth, like with some sort of sander, I guess, and get that sharp angle get taken care of. And if the damage is too great, we'll make you a whole new bridge for free. Because what you just did is actually pretty common for people that just get new bridges for the first time. I guess it's a get used to it moment that might take several months. I mean, overall, they keep saying it takes about 6 months for your body to fully integrate what you now have in your mouth. So, okay, it was only day 10. And, I got lucky, if you want to call it that, to break one of my teeth very early on. But I think what I want to ask them is to just grind it smooth, even if it doesn't look perfect, because I never got these teeth to make a better smile. I just got sick of all the sensitivity in my mouth, and I wanted to eat food again without having to worry about, too cold, too hot, too sugary, too hard, like whatever. That's the real reason why I pulled all my teeth out. And that part alone, I'm actually quite content with. The only thing I really miss is molars. These teeth, I think I showed it in the first video, but they don't have all the molars that you have naturally. I think they're missing 2. So 8 in total, I guess. Not including your wisdom teeth. That's what it feels like to me. And I told them, I said, I feel like I'm not chewing in the middle of my mouth, but so close to the middle that it's just, again, they keep saying, oh, you'll get used to it, don't worry about it. And I believe them. I can feel, again, day 17, I can feel that I'm already made a whole bunch of progress. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm already eating everything that I used to eat with my natural teeth. Now, mind you, I never ate really hard things like raw vegetables. They always had to be steamed or lightly cooked. But I can already tell that I can now chew hard things. I just haven't done it yet because I'm still learning to chew correctly with these things. So I'm trying to keep it with easy to chew things. Like last night, for example, I just had a chicken, not chicken nuggets, just actual chicken. So I had to chew it to shred it open and make it into something I can swallow. And that worked great. Driving on the road all day with a truck, I'm usually stuck with eating at gas stations and truck stops where I'll usually get a hamburger and a burrito. I mean, and I don't mean a McDonald's hamburger. It's an actual hamburger that's more vegetable than, a patty with some bread around it, or pizza, Subway, and Chinese food. Those are the things that I eat most. And then on the weekend, I will cook for myself, which is mostly raw veggies that I will steam or lightly fry or something in the pan with as little oil as possible. Usually it's actually with like a teaspoon of oil and then half a glass of water in there or something. So yeah, eating, I'm very happy with this tea, but again, I do really know that I'm missing molars, but I feel it. I'm getting used to it, but I'm giving you guys an update on how this is going for me. So that way, if you are even considering just a tiny part of you that you want to do this surgery and you're nervous about shit, what am I gonna have to go through? That's really why I'm posting this, and also a little bit of a diary version for myself. That way, when I look back in 10 years or something, like, wow, that's really what I went through on my 38th birthday, I guess. So look how far I've come now. So that's really the two reasons I'm making these videos, to help you guys go along with my process so you feel what I'm going through and you can kind of hear that's something you're willing to deal with or not. But overall, I'm happy. I'm really not regretting my decision yet. Especially, like I said, I just damaged the lower bridge myself, my own stupidity. And they're willing to work with me. I don't know if this is like because I broke it for the first time and within the first 3 months that they're doing it for free, or I don't know. But I'm very glad I did, because again, $40,000, I cannot afford this for the next 10 years. I'm going to have to save up for 4 years at least to just break even out of the 40,000. So yeah, I don't really want to spend anything crazy on this. But since I broke that bottom tooth, I did go to shoot, what was it? Wegmans, which is like a grocery store brand here. I really like Wegmans. It's a clean store. The people are always friendly there. And I like the color theme of the floors and the wall and the ceiling. Like, I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous, right? But when I walk in the store, I want to see a lot of fresh produce. And I really want that to dominate the store. I don't want to see millions of rows of clothing, then a million of rows of chips and cornflakes. Like, I'm not interested in these foods, really. I want healthy, natural, biologically grown fruits and vegetables. That's really what I want to start dominating my whole diet with. Anyway, Wegmans, I bought a night guard there, which is basically something that it's made for your upper teeth, and you mold it by throwing that guard in boiling water for a minute. You take it out with a fork. You hold it for like a couple seconds so it can cool off just enough, and you stick it in your mouth immediately and you bite down on it. That way it molds to your upper teeth. And yeah, I've been sleeping with that now ever since that happened, this cracked tooth. Because again, I'm trying to protect my $40,000 investment a little bit here. I'm not a fan of things being in my mouth, but I'm sorry, I can't afford to do this again anytime soon. So I figured I'm asleep. Sure, it'll bother me for like 10-15 minutes until I fall asleep, and I actually like to meditate for like an hour before I actually go and lay down for my final sleep. So I really, really put it in at the final moment of wanting to be awake, really. So I figured if I'm asleep, how hard can it bother me? And honestly, it's been working out okay for me. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of it. I don't like things in my mouth that don't belong there. But again, protect your investment. So yeah, that's been my adventure so far. Like, I covered the pain part and the saliva, the speech problems. So eating, like I said, I think within 10 days after the surgery. So for me, that would have been around February 24th, 2022. I was actually already starting to eat normal. And the only thing that was not easy at start was, how hard am I biting? Am I actually shredding my food, or am I just pretending to be biting and then swallow a chunk that's essentially just carved up with the knife and fork I used and not chewed at all. So yeah, I can feel I'm chewing it more and more, and right now I'm really chewing back to the way I was with my natural teeth. So the only thing that I'm still now having is, and again, 17 days after surgery, um, the top row in the center of my mouth, like right below my nose, and then my chin, the bottom row. I can still feel a soreness, but it is not a pain. It is not something I need painkillers for. It's just a throbbing, of a light throbbing feeling. I mean, throbbing is a strong word, but I do feel when my heart rate goes up a little bit, whether it's on me going up the stairs or going for a short walk, I can feel when my heart is thumping a little harder than normal. That pulsy feeling, it shows up in those two areas, and I can clearly tell something was done there. But as soon as my heart rate comes down, everything, I'm fine again. I don't take nothing for that. So, and the speech again, you can hear what I sound like now. That's how it is so far for me. I might, like I said earlier, I might make another video of showing you what all you can expect to eat with implants. I'm actually debating, since I'm going in on the 11th of March for potentially a new bridge, maybe I should eat really hard things now, just in case I really do break a bridge. But I don't know, something about, I can't explain to you how or why, but these teeth feel incredibly strong. I'm not saying they feel indestructible, but I really feel that anything that a human should be allowed to eat could easily be handled by these teeth. So yeah, I'm not gonna say stick a pebble of stone in your mouth and crunch on it, see what happens. Not at all. And one last thing I'll maybe cover is, what do they feel like in my mouth? I think it's comparable to, and I'm sorry it sounds a little silly, but it's comparable to licking glass. If you put a drinking glass to your mouth, you can kind of lick that with your tongue. That material in my mouth feels very similar. And if you keep licking the glass long enough, it kind of feels like you're developing a little layer of, for lack of better words, slime. I'm guessing that's just your saliva, and essentially your saliva is very close to a slime. It feels like there is a thin layer of slime between your tongue and your teeth, or the glass, like I'm trying to explain here. That's really what it feels like to my tongue all day long. And one last thing, maybe, I think I would have said one last thing before, but the bridge is, I'm sorry, my gums are receding. My teeth were pulled, so they're gonna do that. This is normal. This is expected. They tell you this during your whole process in the surgery. Your gums will recede because there is no teeth there. Your gums don't have to have that density anymore. They're gonna recede, but the implants are not moving at all. So yeah, your gums are pulling away from the bridge, and there is a gap there. I'm running my tongue through that gap quite a bit. At first, I actually thought, like, shoot, I am actually lifting the bridge off of the implants, or I'm pulling the implants all together out of my whatever jaw, I guess. But I don't think that's the case, because my bite has stayed the same. Like the teeth haven't lifted on one side and stayed the same on the other side, or nothing. So yeah, the bridge and the gums now gaining that gap is still a bit of a weird foreign feeling. And after these 2 weeks that I've had now, that gap is increasing. The first 10 days I couldn't feel that gap at all. Like, it was almost like the bridge was literally smacked onto my gums, and it was a smooth transition from my gums to the bridge. And now it is not smooth at all anymore. It actually started on my lower left. That's where the separation started first. And since I was nowhere else, that's why I actually panicked, like, oh my God, it's coming loose. But I just looked in the mirror and I just, I just put my teeth together slowly a couple of times. I could see everything still looked level. The teeth were all touching at the same time. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to worry about this. I'm just going to give it time. And if I can see the teeth visually changing location, then I'll start worrying and I'll give the players a call. But that hasn't happened. So I'm confident so far that this is all a normal part of the process. And again, I'm just gonna have to wait 6 months to just let this take its course. And if that gap keeps increasing, I might actually tell them to not give me a new bridge. And after 6 months, I might just go back and ask them essentially if they're willing to make a new bridge that touches my gums again, because I think I prefer that a little more. On the flip side, I think the more that gap becomes wider, it will be much easier to clean or to lick the food out that gets stuck underneath there while I cannot brush or floss while I'm on the road. I don't know. Time will tell, and I will give you guys an update in, I don't know, another 2 weeks or a month later. But I'm almost feeling like myself again. Just a speech now and a little bit of soreness. That's it. So I hope you guys all have a good day, and I will see you guys again. Have a good day.